I'm sure that John would be very pleased to know of this very, very special honor.
Well, John would first say that there are others more deserving of himself.
He was not particularly comfortable getting awards.
John was such a humble guy, he would be profoundly embarrassed.
He'd first say, they didn't need to pick me.
He wouldn't be thrilled.
I think there's probably no one more deserving than John to have received this award.
I'm so thrilled and excited because I know he deserves it. So that's how I feel.
John had a very unusual combination of talents with people and with the financial side.
And he cared about other people. He was modest.
He's also a perfectionist and expects a lot.
It's easy to see how he became chair of so many important community organizations.
I think John saw his work with for-profit companies as very much community service. By helping them, he could help the community be more prosperous, provide greater employment opportunities. And I agree. I think John's for-profit work was maybe his greatest legacy to this community.
John was one of the most profoundly gifted leaders because he did it in humility. He did it with incredible common sense and great brilliance, and he never needed to own it. And because he didn't need to own it, he was an exceptionally effective leader.
He didn't say a lot. He would often listen for a long period of time.
He said, you'll learn a lot if you listen for a while.
Oftentimes, I'm sure he was the smartest person in the room, but nobody really knew it from his actions until he spoke.
When he spoke, it was like E.F. Hutton. People listened.
He was a man of integrity. And what I always admired was somehow he was able to bring a clarity of thought and a pretty strong moral compass to kind of figuring out what was the right thing, the right way to go.
He didn't delay decision-making. He was quick, he was articulate about his decision, and then he would carry it out. And I think that's part of what made him so effective on boards.
I've also heard a lot of stories about people that he has helped who were going through tough times that really weren't visible. They weren't visible to me, they weren't visible to many people, but that was part of his value system. And I think helping people was a big part of who he was.
John had a great wit, and it came out of nowhere.
He had an amazing sense of humor, which many people don't know.
He's got, I wish I had the sense of humor he had. It was very dry at times, very sharp.
In fact, when I met him, that was one of the things that intrigued me, was his dry wit.
I've heard a lot of things about my father. I've heard, he's gives the most trusted legal advice and counsel.
He was the guy that I turned to for good advice, for testing out new ideas.
He's a pillar of the community. And my response to that was always, he's a great dad too.
John's life was enhanced greatly by his community involvement. And I will always be grateful for this evening and the opportunity to share his accomplishments.
I'd certainly like to thank the Lancaster Chamber for, recognizing, the difference that he did make in this community that he loved. And I'd like to thank everybody in this room and in the community for giving him the opportunity to do so. Thank you.